Hey, welcome back. Now we have our scene with a night sky, and our level's looking pretty good, but we'd like to customize it more, and we're going to begin to do that in this lecture by learning how to duplicate objects that are already in the scene. We'll use this skill to place some barricades so that we have a bit of a play area that we're confined to when we're playing the game. So I'm back here in my level, and I'd like to duplicate some of these objects here, such as this brick floor that we see throughout the level. And we see over here to the side, we have some extra brick floors that I'd like to duplicate. So I'm going to duplicate this brick floor and use it as a barricade right here so that we're confined within this area and we can't get past it and venture off into the distance. Now I'm noticing this camera here that was used with our matinee actor that we removed, so we don't really need this camera actor. I'm going to select it and delete it. Now, left-clicking on this brick floor, I'm going to duplicate it by holding the Alt key and clicking on this gizmo. I'm going to click the upright blue arrow with the Alt key selected, and if I click and drag up, I see that I've created a duplicate version of this floor. I have a second floor. Now, by clicking and dragging to move around, I'm going to hit the E key, and my widget will change into a rotation widget, and we're going to learn more about maneuvering our way throughout the level and maneuvering objects around in a future video. But for this lecture, I'd just like to duplicate one of these walls and bring it over here to cage us in a bit. So I'm going to click on the red arc on this rotation gizmo and drag until I've rotated it by 90 degrees. And now I see that this wall is upright. Now I can hit the W key to get that translation gizmo back, and I can click and drag to move it. And if I move it and release, I'll see that it's moved forward a bit. Now if I click and drag and then hold the Shift key while I'm dragging, my camera will move with me. And if I move it up to about here, then I see that I have a wall that's separating the inside from the outside. And this is a great way that we can sort of block off sections of town so that we can't get out. And this provides a bit more of a challenge for this shooter game. Now, if I left click and drag and bring myself over to the other side, I'll see that the other side looks sort of plain and gray. And if I were on this other side, I would probably want to duplicate this again and rotate it around so I can see bricks on both sides. And I can do that by hitting the E key and holding the Alt key while I rotate it. And if I hold the Alt key down while I rotate it, I am creating a second floor here. You'll see that I've duplicated it. So we can duplicate by translation and we can duplicate by rotation. And if I rotate this all the way around, then I see that I now have two sides to this wall. I have an outside and I have an inside. And it looks like the inside part of my duplicate is sort of covering over those bricks. So I can hit the W key and bring this out just a bit until I no longer see that gray. And now I see on both sides I have bricks. So this is a great way that we can place basic geometry in the world to sort of barricade ourselves in. So I'd like to challenge you with placing more of these barricades all throughout the level. You don't have to use the entire city. You can block off a small section of it that you'd like to use for the game. But this is where you get a little bit of freedom to design the level and make it as open or as restricted as you want. So place some barricades by duplicating, both by using translation and rotation while holding the Alt key. Pause the video and customize your level a bit now. All right, so hopefully you've customized your level and placed some barricades a bit and sort of mapped it out so that you've got a definite game plan for this game. So in the next lecture, we're going to become more familiar with how to manipulate objects, duplicate objects, and group them and ungroup them so that we have even more skills when it comes to level design and creation. So in this lecture, we learned how to duplicate objects, and we sort of designed the level a little bit by placing barricades and giving ourselves a bit of a game plan for how this game is going to pan out in this rundown nighttime city. Great job. I'll see you soon.